Welcome to Powerful Stoic Way. In today's fast-paced world, emotions can often feel like they're controlling us. Whether it's stress, anger, anxiety, or sadness, it's easy to get overwhelmed. But what if you could turn these emotions into sources of strength instead of letting them dictate your actions? The ancient Stoics had a powerful philosophy for mastering emotions, teaching us how to face life's challenges with wisdom, calm, and resilience. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about understanding them and responding wisely. By focusing on what's within our control and accepting what we cannot change, we can achieve emotional peace. In this video, we'll explore the Stoic principles that provide a clear path to emotional mastery. You'll learn how to navigate difficult emotions with clarity, rise above adversity, and transform challenges into opportunities for growth. Whether you're facing daily stress, uncertainty, or emotional setbacks, the Stoic approach can help you find calm and control. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by your emotions or wished you could respond to life's challenges with greater peace, you're in the right place. Together, we'll discover practical ways to incorporate Stoic wisdom into your life and master your emotions. By the end of this video, I hope you'll feel empowered to handle any situation with a calm, resilient mindset. Don't forget to subscribe to Powerful Stoic Way for more insights into Stoic living and emotional mastery. Let's dive in. Number 1, control what you can, accept what you can't. In our daily lives, we often face moments of frustration, anger, or despair. These emotions are a natural part of being human. But what if I told you that most of the turmoil we experience doesn't come from external events themselves? Instead, it comes from how we perceive them. The Stoics believe that true peace lies in mastering this perception by focusing only on what is within our control and letting go of what isn't. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." This simple statement carries profound wisdom. Imagine the freedom of releasing yourself from worrying about things you cannot change and instead focusing all your energy on what you can influence: your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. Let's take an example. Suppose you are a student preparing for an important exam. You've studied diligently, but as the exam date approaches, anxiety takes over. You find yourself worrying about the questions, the grading process, and whether you'll achieve the desired results. The truth is, once you've done your part, prepared and given your best, the outcome is no longer in your hands. The examiners, the questions, and the grading are all external factors beyond your control. Stressing over them doesn't change the result, but only robs you of peace in the present. This principle of controlling what you can and accepting what you can't is the cornerstone of Stoicism. The Stoics understood that while life throws challenges and uncertainties our way, our emotional reaction to these events is entirely within our control. They argued that by mastering our minds, we can rise above the chaos and maintain inner tranquility. But how does one practice this principle in real life? Let's delve deeper. Imagine you're walking down a busy street and a car suddenly splashes mud onto your clothes. Your immediate reaction might be anger or annoyance. You might think, "Why does this always happen to me?" But here's where the Stoic mindset comes into play. You couldn't control the car driving past or the mud splashing onto you. However, you can control your response. You can choose to stay calm, accept what happened, and move on with your day. Or you can choose to let the incident ruin your mood for hours. The choice is entirely yours. Another powerful aspect of this principle is the idea of aligning with nature. The Stoics believe that life is unpredictable and ever-changing, much like nature itself. Instead of resisting these changes, they advised embracing them. Take the example of rain. You cannot control when or where it will rain, but you can prepare yourself by carrying an umbrella. Similarly, you cannot control the actions of others or the outcomes of certain events, but you can prepare your mind to face them with resilience. One of the greatest lessons Stoicism offers is the ability to live in the present moment. Worrying about the past or the future is a futile exercise because neither is within your control. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. What you have is the present, and learning to focus on it is a crucial part of controlling your emotional responses. A practical way to apply this principle is through reflection. At the end of each day, take a few moments to ask yourself, Did I focus on things outside my control today? How could I have shifted my energy toward things within my control? This practice not only builds self-awareness, but also helps you become more intentional about where you direct your mental energy. Let's revisit the earlier quote by Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This truth is liberating because it puts the power back in your hands. No matter how chaotic the external world becomes, you have the ability to choose your response. Do you often find yourself stressing over things outside your control? What would change in your life if you learned to let go of these worries? Share your thoughts in the comments below. In conclusion, mastering the art of controlling what you can and accepting what you can't is not a one-time act, but a lifelong practice. With consistent effort, this Stoic principle can transform your life, allowing you to navigate challenges with grace and live with a profound sense of peace. Number 2, perception shapes reality. When life throws challenges your way, how you perceive them can make all the difference. The Stoics taught us that events themselves are neutral. It is our interpretation of them that creates emotions like anger, fear, or sadness. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and renowned Stoic, famously said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This principle emphasizes a key truth. The way we interpret events determines our reality. By changing our perception, we can transform even the most difficult situations into opportunities for growth. Let's unpack this powerful idea. Imagine being stuck in heavy traffic on the way to an important meeting. Your initial reaction might be frustration, anxiety, or anger. You may find yourself thinking, "This is ruining my entire day." But step back for a moment. The traffic itself is just a neutral event. It's not personal. What's causing your distress isn't the traffic. It's your perception of it. Now consider a different perspective. Instead of focusing on what you're losing, time, punctuality, focus on what you're gaining. Maybe this is a rare moment of solitude in an otherwise busy day. Perhaps you could use the time to listen to a podcast, reflect on your goals, or practice mindfulness. This shift in perception doesn't change the external reality, but it changes how you feel about it. The Stoics believe that emotions like anger, fear, and sadness arise not from external events, but from how we interpret them. Think of emotions as a reaction to your thoughts, not the events themselves. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your emotional response. For instance, let's say someone criticizes you at work. Your initial reaction might be hurt or defensive. But instead of immediately reacting, pause and ask yourself, is this criticism valid? Is there something I can learn from it? Or is this person projecting their own issues onto me? By reframing the situation, you take control of your emotions. Instead of feeling attacked, you might see the criticism as an opportunity to improve, or dismiss it if it's unfounded. One of the most transformative applications of this principle is reframing adversity. The Stoics believe that every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that obstacles are not barriers. They are pathways to growth. For example, losing a job might seem devastating at first, but viewed differently, it could be the push you needed to pursue a more fulfilling career or develop new skills. It's not the event itself that determines its impact on your life, but how you choose to interpret it. Practical strategies for shifting perception. 1. Pause before reacting. When faced with a challenging situation, take a deep breath. This pause allows you to step back from your initial emotional reaction and choose a more rational response. 2. Ask yourself key questions. Challenge your thoughts by asking, "Oh, is my reaction helping or hurting me? Oh, what's a more constructive way to view this situation?" 3. Practice gratitude. Even in difficult times, there is always something to be grateful for. Shifting your focus to what you have, rather than what you've lost, can change your entire perspective. 4. Learn from the Stoics. Reading Stoic texts or reflecting on their teachings can help you internalize this mindset. For instance, Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that events are beyond his control, but his interpretation of them isn't. Let's bring this into today's world. Imagine you're scrolling through social media and see a post that makes you feel envious. Someone's perfect vacation or career milestone triggers a sense of inadequacy. But instead of dwelling on those feelings, try reframing the situation. Ask yourself, why am I comparing myself to this person? What can I do today to move closer to my own goals? This simple shift in perception turns envy into inspiration. The event hasn't changed. The post is still there, but your reaction to it has transformed. Have you ever faced a situation where changing your perception helped you navigate it better? If so, share your experience in the comments. If not, what's stopping you from trying this approach? The power of perception lies in its ability to transform any situation. When you recognize that your emotions stem not from events, but from how you interpret them, you reclaim control over your mind and your life. Remember, you always have the power to rewrite your story, one thought at a time. Number 3, practicing voluntary discomfort. In a world that often prioritizes comfort and instant gratification, the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort offers a path to true resilience. The concept is simple but profound. Deliberately choosing to experience discomfort in small ways can prepare you for the larger challenges of life. This practice was championed by philosophers like Seneca, who encouraged individuals to intentionally step out of their comfort zones. By doing so, you train yourself to withstand hardships with greater ease. Seneca's words are a perfect illustration of this mindset. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" The idea here is not to suffer unnecessarily, but rather to condition your mind to recognize that discomfort is often fleeting and not as unbearable as we think. At its core, voluntary discomfort is about reframing your relationship with discomfort. In everyday life, we shy away from situations that might make us feel uncomfortable. But Stoicism teaches that discomfort is often a necessary part of growth. Whether it's physically enduring a cold shower or mentally embracing the discomfort of a difficult conversation, these experiences can teach us that we are capable of much more than we often believe. For example, consider how physical discomfort can prepare you for emotional hardship. Imagine fasting for a day or walking a long distance in the rain. While neither of these activities is pleasant, they both serve to build mental strength. You might begin by thinking of them as challenges to endure, but over time, you start to realize that these small discomforts give you a greater sense of control over your mind and body. When a real crisis arrives, you are not overwhelmed by the emotional or physical strain. You have conditioned your mind to stay calm, knowing that discomfort is temporary. Voluntary discomfort doesn't just prepare you physically, it also helps to shift your mindset. When you choose discomfort on your terms, it provides a sense of empowerment. It helps break the cycle of fear and avoidance. Many of our anxieties and fears come from the anticipation of discomfort. We build them up in our minds, imagining the worst-case scenario, when in reality we often survive far worse than we expect. This is where the true power of voluntary discomfort lies. It diminishes the fear of hardship by putting you in direct contact with it in manageable doses. Over time, you come to understand that discomfort is not an enemy, but a teacher. By seeking out challenges, you become more adaptable and less prone to emotional distress when faced with unavoidable discomfort in life. How can we start practicing voluntary discomfort in our own lives? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. The key is to introduce small, manageable challenges that allow you to experience discomfort in a controlled manner. Cold showers. Taking a cold shower might seem uncomfortable at first, but over time, it teaches you to overcome resistance. You'll realize that your mind often exaggerates discomfort, and you have more control over your reactions than you think. Minimalist living. For a set period, try living with fewer possessions. This could mean reducing your wardrobe to a few items or going without modern luxuries like air conditioning. These small sacrifices can help you realize how little you actually need to be content. Physical challenges. Engaging in physical activities like hiking or exercising when you feel tired teaches perseverance. It strengthens your resolve and shows you that discomfort doesn't have to dictate your actions. By consistently practicing voluntary discomfort, you'll start to see that the discomforts you face in life, whether they're physical, emotional, or mental, are often much more manageable than they seem. Have you ever intentionally sought out discomfort in your life? How did it change your perspective on what you can endure? Share your thoughts in the comments below. By embracing voluntary discomfort, we build resilience, self-discipline, and the ability to handle life's inevitable hardships with calm and clarity. The Stoics understood that the key to peace is not avoiding discomfort, but learning to coexist with it and use it as a tool for growth. Number 4, understanding the impermanence of everything. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the recognition of the impermanence of all things. The Stoics firmly believed that by understanding and accepting the transient nature of life, you can better appreciate the present and live without attachment or fear of loss. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea beautifully when he wrote, "Reflect often upon the rapidity with which all things pass away and are no more." This concept is not meant to make us fearful or nihilistic, but rather to help us reframe our priorities. Everything we experience, whether it's joy, sorrow, or success, will eventually pass. This truth is liberating because it frees us from the grip of both desire and fear. If nothing is permanent, then neither should our happiness nor our sorrow be dependent on external circumstances. When you acknowledge the impermanence of everything, it becomes easier to detach from the things that cause unnecessary emotional turmoil. For instance, if you lose something, whether it's a material possession, a relationship, or an opportunity, you can remind yourself that it was never going to last forever anyway. The Stoics taught that nothing external should define your inner peace, and this includes everything that comes and goes. Think about your favorite belongings or your most treasured memories. In the moment, they may seem irreplaceable. However, the reality is that they will eventually fade or change. If you learn to embrace this truth, you can enjoy these things fully while they last, without clinging to them when they are gone. Marcus Aurelius himself practiced this reflection regularly, urging himself to let go of attachments by constantly reminding himself that everything is in a state of flux. One of the greatest gifts of understanding impermanence is that it allows you to live more fully in the present. You're not weighed down by past regrets or future worries because you understand that everything is transient. This awareness can bring clarity and peace to your life. For example, if you experience a period of great success at work, recognizing that success is temporary allows you to enjoy the moment without becoming overly attached to it. Similarly, if you're going through a tough time, understanding that difficulties don't last forever can bring comfort and hope. You know that your current situation, no matter how painful, is only temporary. One of the most powerful Stoic practices related to impermanence is the contemplation of death. The Stoics didn't avoid thoughts of death. Rather, they used them as a tool to sharpen their awareness of life's fleeting nature. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." By meditating on the fact that life is finite, you can focus on what truly matters. You start to appreciate the present moment, the people around you, and the opportunities you have, instead of being consumed by trivial distractions. How can we use this Stoic principle in everyday life? Mindfulness. Practice mindfulness by regularly reminding yourself that everything is temporary. Whether you're enjoying a pleasant moment or enduring hardship, keep in mind that it will not last forever. Gratitude. When faced with something you cherish, take a moment to express gratitude. Recognizing the impermanence of things helps you appreciate them more deeply without taking them for granted. Letting go. If you experience loss or disappointment, remind yourself that it's part of life's natural cycle. This doesn't mean you won't feel sadness, but it helps you move through the emotions more gracefully. By embracing the truth of impermanence, you can live more authentically, free from the fear of loss and the pressure to hold on to things forever. Have you ever experienced a loss that helped you appreciate the impermanence of life? How did it change your outlook? Share your thoughts below. Understanding the impermanence of all things empowers you to live with greater peace, clarity, and detachment. By letting go of our attachment to what is fleeting, we can experience life more fully, with a deeper sense of gratitude for the present moment. Number 5, practicing negative visualization. Negative visualization is one of the most powerful and thought-provoking Stoic practices. The concept is simple. By imagining the worst-case scenarios in advance, you mentally prepare yourself for whatever life throws your way. This technique doesn't invite pessimism or despair. Rather, it's a tool for strengthening your resilience and gaining perspective on life's inevitable ups and downs. The Stoics use negative visualization as a way to prevent emotional shock and anxiety when adversity strikes. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, writes, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, 'The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil.'" By contemplating the challenges you might face during the day, you allow yourself to emotionally prepare for them, ensuring that they don't surprise or overwhelm you when they occur. At its core, negative visualization works by training you to accept that life is unpredictable and difficulties are unavoidable. Many of us are conditioned to fear the unknown, imagining the worst possible outcomes. This creates anxiety and prevents us from acting boldly. Negative visualization teaches you that fear of loss, failure, or hardship is often worse than the reality. By mentally preparing for adversity, you can handle challenges with greater composure when they arise. For example, before a job interview, you might visualize the worst-case scenario: not getting the job, being embarrassed, or being rejected outright. While this might sound uncomfortable, this mental rehearsal helps you detach from the fear of rejection. You begin to understand that rejection is not the end, but a natural part of life. By considering the worst case, you also realize how much you still have: your health, your relationships, and your sense of purpose, things that remain unchanged no matter the outcome. To start practicing negative visualization, it's important to be deliberate and specific in your mental exercises. Consider incorporating the following practices into your routine. Morning reflection. Upon waking up, take a few moments to imagine possible challenges you may face during the day. Whether it's dealing with difficult people, an unexpected setback, or any number of stresses, acknowledge these situations in advance, mentally preparing yourself to handle them with calmness and composure. Gratitude through loss. One of the most powerful ways to use negative visualization is to mentally lose things that are important to you. Imagine losing a loved one, your job, or even your health. This might seem morbid, but it can actually deepen your appreciation for what you have right now. When you understand that these things can be taken away at any time, you'll cherish them more deeply. Adversity rehearsal. Another way to practice is to visualize yourself going through a tough time and navigating it with courage. Picture yourself dealing with a difficult conversation, a major life change, or even a personal failure, and visualize yourself handling it with grace, learning from it, and moving forward. This mental preparation will equip you with a mindset of growth, not despair. The true power of negative visualization lies in its ability to diminish fear. By confronting the worst-case scenario before it happens, you realize that many of your fears are overblown or unrealistic. This exercise helps you reframe your thinking so that when something difficult actually occurs, you are able to face it with equanimity and clarity. For example, instead of letting fear paralyze you before a difficult meeting or public speaking engagement, you've already imagined the worst. You've mentally prepared for rejection, criticism, or failure. Because of this, when those challenges inevitably arise, they no longer feel like overwhelming shocks, but manageable experiences that are part of life's natural ebb and flow. Have you ever mentally prepared for a worst-case scenario? How did it affect your experience when faced with challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments. Through the practice of negative visualization, we can prepare ourselves for the unavoidable obstacles that life will present. By acknowledging and accepting the possibility of hardship, we free ourselves from fear and approach life's challenges with a sense of clarity, gratitude, and resilience. Number 6, focusing on virtue over outcomes. In the modern world, we are often conditioned to measure success based on external outcomes: the amount of money we earn, the status we achieve, or the recognition we receive. However, the Stoics believe that true success is not measured by these external markers, but by the pursuit of virtue and living in accordance with our principles. The Stoics emphasize 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues should guide all of our actions, and our focus should be on cultivating them rather than on the outcomes of our actions. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This statement highlights the Stoic belief that virtue should be our compass, not the pursuit of external rewards or recognition. Focusing on virtue over outcomes means that you detach from the results of your efforts and focus instead on doing what is morally and ethically right, regardless of what comes from it. For example, you might work tirelessly on a project, but the outcome might not be as expected. Perhaps it's not as successful or well received as you hoped. In the Stoic worldview, this doesn't diminish the value of your effort, because the true success lies in whether you applied wisdom, justice, and integrity throughout the process. One key benefit of focusing on virtue over outcomes is that you can maintain peace of mind even when external circumstances are beyond your control. If you tie your happiness to success or recognition, you are bound to experience stress, anxiety, and disappointment. But when your actions align with your values, you have a deeper sense of fulfillment that doesn't rely on external approval. To cultivate a Stoic approach to virtue, consider these practical strategies. Identify your core values. Start by defining your core virtues and values. What does integrity mean to you? How can you be more courageous or compassionate in your daily life? These values will serve as the foundation for your actions, regardless of external outcomes. Act with purpose. When making decisions, ask yourself whether your actions align with your values. Are you acting with honesty, fairness, and integrity? Are you prioritizing long-term growth over short-term rewards? By focusing on virtue, you make decisions based on what is right rather than what is easy or beneficial in the short run. Embrace effort, not results. Shift your mindset from focusing on the outcome to focusing on the effort. Instead of evaluating yourself based on whether you win or lose, assess your actions in terms of whether you gave your best effort, acted with integrity, and aligned with your virtues. By focusing on virtue rather than outcomes, you free yourself from the stress and anxiety of constant comparison and external judgment. You learn to find satisfaction in the process itself, not just the end result. This mindset reduces the need for validation from others and allows you to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace. Furthermore, acting in accordance with virtue enhances your self-esteem because you know that no matter the outcome, you are living true to your highest values. The Stoic focus on virtue provides a sense of direction and purpose, helping you to navigate challenges with wisdom, courage, and integrity. Do you find it difficult to focus on your virtues rather than the outcomes of your actions? How do you remind yourself to stay true to your values? Share your thoughts in the comments. By focusing on virtue over outcomes, we shift our attention from external validation to internal fulfillment. The pursuit of virtue is the true measure of success, and by living in alignment with our principles, we experience peace, clarity, and a deeper sense of purpose in life. Number 7. Understanding the power of detachment. Detachment is a core Stoic concept that involves freeing yourself from attachment to external circumstances, people, and possessions. It is not about becoming indifferent or apathetic. Rather, it's about cultivating the ability to remain emotionally balanced regardless of the changing conditions in your life. The Stoics believe that by practicing detachment, we could maintain our inner peace even in the face of loss, failure, or disappointment. Seneca once wrote, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." This quote highlights the Stoic belief that true strength comes not from controlling external circumstances, but from controlling your emotional responses. Detachment allows you to experience life more fully without being ruled by your attachments or desires. Detachment helps to create emotional resilience. When you become too attached to something, you risk letting it define your happiness and sense of self-worth. For example, if you derive all your self-esteem from your career, a setback at work might cause you to feel worthless or anxious. By practicing detachment, you separate your identity from external factors, allowing you to maintain emotional equilibrium even during times of loss or change. Detachment also helps you manage your expectations. When you are too attached to specific outcomes, you set yourself up for disappointment. However, when you practice detachment, you understand that everything is temporary and outcomes are often beyond your control. This perspective helps you let go of unrealistic expectations and approach life with a sense of calm acceptance. To cultivate detachment in your life, try incorporating these practices. Limit possessions. Start by simplifying your life and reducing the number of material possessions you hold dear. Let go of items that have become unnecessary sources of attachment and distraction. By focusing on what truly matters, you will experience a greater sense of freedom. Embrace change. Understand that change is a natural part of life and nothing is permanent. Whether it's a relationship, job, or personal achievement, practice accepting that these things will come and go. This mindset allows you to experience life's ebb and flow without clinging to what is fleeting. Practice non-attachment in relationships. While relationships are essential to our well-being, practicing detachment means not relying on others for your happiness. You can love and care for others without being dependent on them for emotional fulfillment. This helps create healthier, more balanced connections. The benefits of detachment are vast. By freeing yourself from the need for external validation or the fear of loss, you experience greater peace and emotional stability. Detachment allows you to engage with life's experiences without being overly attached to the outcome. You can enjoy the present moment fully, knowing that nothing lasts forever. When you practice detachment, you become more adaptable to change. Instead of resisting or fearing it, you learn to flow with it. This flexibility enables you to handle life's challenges with greater resilience and less emotional strain. Have you ever struggled with detachment in your life? How can you start practicing detachment today to improve your emotional balance? Share your thoughts below. Detachment is not about abandoning the world, but about finding peace within it. By practicing detachment, we free ourselves from the emotional ups and downs that come with attachment. We cultivate inner strength, clarity, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with a calm and resilient mind. Number 8, the practice of amor fati, love of fate. One of the most profound Stoic concepts is amor fati, which means love of fate. This idea encourages us to not only accept the events that unfold in our lives, but to embrace them fully, viewing them as opportunities for growth and learning. The Stoics believe that everything that happens, whether good or bad, is part of the natural order and serves a purpose in our personal development. The term amor fati was famously embraced by Friedrich Nietzsche, who described it as loving life in its entirety, with all its hardships and joys. However, it's a concept that traces back to the Stoics, particularly to the writings of Marcus Aurelius, who stated, "Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears." This means that when you accept and love what happens in your life, even the challenges, you free yourself from the emotional turmoil that resistance to those events brings. Amor fati helps eliminate the struggle against things you cannot change. So much of our suffering arises from our refusal to accept life as it is. When things don't go as we planned, we often feel frustrated, angry, or defeated. However, by embracing amor fati, we change our perspective. Instead of fighting against what happens, we choose to see everything, including the difficulties, as a necessary part of the journey. When you love your fate, you cultivate a deep sense of resilience. Rather than reacting with bitterness to challenges, you learn to welcome them as opportunities to grow, improve, and become a better version of yourself. This mindset helps you move through life with peace and equanimity, knowing that everything, good or bad, has value in shaping who you are. To practice amor fati in your life, here are a few strategies. Embrace adversity as a teacher. When you face a setback or hardship, rather than resisting or complaining, try to see it as a lesson. What can you learn from this situation? How can this challenge help you grow? Ask yourself these questions as a way to transform your experience into something positive. Reframe negative events. When something doesn't go according to plan, instead of focusing on what went wrong, shift your focus to what's possible now. Can you adapt and find new opportunities in the situation? Amor fati teaches us to look for growth even in failure. Find joy in the present moment. To love your fate, you must embrace the present moment. Instead of longing for the past or worrying about the future, take time to appreciate where you are right now. Be fully present in your experiences and view them as an essential part of your journey. The most significant psychological benefit of amor fati is the reduction of anxiety and frustration. When you stop resisting what is, you free yourself from unnecessary mental and emotional strain. You begin to experience life's challenges with a calm, accepting attitude, which leads to greater emotional well-being. Amor fati also fosters a sense of gratitude. When you see every event as a stepping stone to personal growth, you begin to appreciate all experiences, not just the pleasurable ones. This gratitude leads to a richer, more fulfilling life. Do you find it difficult to embrace challenges as part of your journey? How can you practice amor fati to embrace your fate and see it as an opportunity for growth? Share your thoughts in the comments. The practice of amor fati allows us to accept all aspects of our lives, both good and bad, with love and gratitude. By embracing everything that happens, we cultivate resilience, joy, and peace. Instead of resisting life's challenges, we welcome them as necessary steps on our path toward personal growth. Number 9, the dichotomy of control. The dichotomy of control is one of the most fundamental Stoic principles. It teaches us to differentiate between what is within our control and what is not. In essence, we are advised to focus our energy and efforts on the things that we can control, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions, while accepting that the external world and other people are beyond our influence. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, famously said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." The Stoics recognize that much of our suffering comes from trying to control or change things outside of our control, such as other people's opinions, the weather, or the outcome of an event. Instead of wasting energy on these things, the Stoic practice is to focus on our internal responses and actions. Understanding the dichotomy of control is crucial because it helps you achieve emotional stability and peace of mind. When we try to control things that are beyond our power, we experience frustration, stress, and anxiety. By recognizing what is in our control, our reactions and attitudes, we can let go of unnecessary worry and focus on what truly matters. For example, you cannot control how someone else behaves, but you can control how you respond to their behavior. When you focus on how you react, you stop giving others the power to dictate your emotions. Similarly, you cannot control the economy, but you can control your financial decisions and how you prepare for the future. Here are a few practical ways to apply the dichotomy of control. Focus on your thoughts and actions. Recognize that your internal world is the only thing you can fully control. Practice self-awareness and self-discipline to ensure that your thoughts and actions are aligned with your values. Let go of what you cannot change. Identify areas in your life where you are holding on to control that is unnecessary. These could include trying to change other people's opinions, worrying about future events, or lamenting past mistakes. Let go of these concerns and focus only on what you can do in the present. Acceptance. When you face something outside of your control, practice acceptance. Instead of resisting, learn to adapt and respond in a way that reflects your values and virtues. This mindset helps to cultivate resilience and peace in the face of adversity. By focusing only on what you can control, you free yourself from the stress of trying to change things beyond your influence. This leads to greater emotional regulation and a sense of calm. Additionally, it reduces the tendency to blame others or external circumstances for your unhappiness, allowing you to take full responsibility for your emotional well-being. The dichotomy of control also teaches you to be more present and proactive. Rather than feeling overwhelmed by the vastness of the world, you learn to focus your energy on making a positive difference in the areas where you do have influence. How often do you find yourself stressing over things outside of your control? What areas of your life can you focus on changing or improving by focusing only on what's in your control? Share your thoughts below. By embracing the dichotomy of control, we cultivate emotional resilience and peace of mind. When we focus on what we can control and accept what is beyond our reach, we eliminate unnecessary stress and create space for personal growth and clarity. Number 10, developing a strong inner fortress. A strong inner fortress refers to cultivating an unshakable sense of inner strength and stability that no external circumstance can threaten. For the Stoics, this fortress is built through mental discipline, self-control, and the consistent practice of virtues. It's about developing an emotional resilience that doesn't rely on external validation, material possessions, or other fleeting sources of comfort. The concept of the inner fortress comes from the Stoic idea of achieving tranquility by mastering our thoughts and emotions. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By consistently practicing Stoic principles, we build a mental foundation that remains solid regardless of external circumstances. A strong inner fortress gives you the ability to remain calm, clear-headed, and purposeful even in the midst of life's challenges. When you are emotionally anchored in your values, no setback, loss, or obstacle can knock you off course. This strength helps you navigate difficult situations with grace, confidence, and clarity. For example, when you face criticism or failure, a strong inner fortress allows you to evaluate the situation rationally without being swept away by emotional reactions. Instead of feeling defeated or upset, you maintain perspective and focus on what you can control. The stronger your inner fortress, the less you are affected by external turmoil. To begin building your inner fortress, consider these Stoic practices. Daily reflection and journaling. Take time each day to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and emotional responses. Through journaling, you can identify patterns in your thinking and challenge negative or unhelpful beliefs. This practice helps you develop greater self-awareness and emotional control. Mindfulness and meditation. Engage in mindfulness practices to strengthen your ability to stay present and calm, even in stressful situations. Meditation can help you develop a deeper connection to your inner strength and create a buffer against external distractions. Embrace challenges. One of the best ways to strengthen your inner fortress is to face challenges head-on. Rather than avoiding discomfort, seek out opportunities to grow and stretch your limits. Each obstacle you overcome adds to your resilience and fortitude. Having a strong inner fortress brings psychological stability. It allows you to respond to adversity with composure and wisdom, rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. This resilience leads to improved mental health, greater confidence, and an enhanced sense of self-worth. A strong inner fortress also helps you remain true to your values in the face of external pressures. When you are anchored in your core beliefs, you become less susceptible to distractions, peer pressure, and societal expectations. How strong is your inner fortress? What steps can you take today to build a stronger sense of inner resilience and stability? Share your thoughts below. Building a strong inner fortress is key to developing lasting peace and emotional resilience. By cultivating mental discipline, self-awareness, and emotional strength, you can create an unshakable foundation that helps you navigate life's challenges with poise and purpose. As we wrap up, remember that mastering your emotions is not about eliminating them. It's about learning to control how they affect you. By applying Stoic principles, we can transform our emotional responses, cultivating inner peace, resilience, and wisdom. The Stoic mindset teaches us to focus on what's within our control, accept what we cannot change, and respond to challenges with clarity rather than impulsivity. By practicing detachment, reframing negative situations, and embracing amor fati, we can turn adversity into an opportunity for growth. The key lies in shifting our perspective, recognizing that we hold the power to shape our thoughts and reactions. I encourage you to start applying these Stoic principles today. Reflect on what's within your control, embrace challenges with an open mind, and practice self-awareness to transform your emotional experiences. If you found value in this video, don't forget to subscribe to Powerful Stoic Way for more insights into Stoic living and emotional mastery. Remember, emotional peace isn't a distant goal, it's a practice, and every step you take brings you closer to living a life of calm, purpose, and strength. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you rise above your emotions and live your best life.